If the rest of the world cries out with a hypocritical mien against this barbaric expulsion from Germany of such an irreplaceable and culturally eminent...
What if history's darkest secrets were hidden in plain sight, scattered across Europe? Forgotten World War II bunkers stand as eerie remnants of a war that reshaped the world. This is shocking as deep in the forest, experts exploring Hitler's wolf's lair just made a discovery that left them pale. But that's only the beginning. From the WWII Chancellery bunker where the Nazi regime met its end to massive underground fortresses still frozen in time, these sites reveal what was never meant to be found. What terrifying secrets still linger inside? Let's uncover 15 lost World War II bunkers that have finally been discovered. 15 lost World War II bunker. Deep in Poland's forests, a lost World War II bunker has revealed a chilling secret. This is shocking as archaeologists exploring the ruins of the infamous Wolf's Lair, Hitler's heavily guarded Eastern Front headquarters, have finally discovered something that left experts pale. Beneath the former home of Nazi leader Hermann Göring, they unearthed 5 skeletons missing their hands and feet. The remains belonging to 3 adults, a teenager, and a newborn were arranged in the same direction, stripped of clothing and personal belongings. A Polish German archaeology team called Fundia Libra was searching for buried flooring when they uncovered a skull fragment just 10 centimeters beneath the surface. As they dug further, they found burned wood, a key, and the full skeletons. The site, long thought to have given up all its secrets, had one more nightmare buried within. The biggest mystery remains: why were their hands and feet missing? Some experts suggest decomposition, while others fear the bodies were deliberately mutilated. Investigators are now working to determine whether these victims were executed during the war or buried there later. With forensic analysis underway, this long-lost Nazi stronghold could still hold more terrifying secrets. As the world waits for answers, one thing is certain: this discovery, brought to many people's attention by Jesse Waters during a Fox News alert, has forever changed what we know about the Wolf's Lair. 14 World War II air raid shelter in Canford Cliffs. Exploring World War II history is a fascinating journey. Venturing across Dorset and Hampshire allows you to uncover remnants of wartime Britain. One of the most fascinating discoveries in this region is an abandoned air raid shelter in Canford Cliffs, nestled between Bournemouth and Poole. Located beside a playground in a residential area, the shelter is surprisingly accessible. A low concrete wall, likely designed to prevent flooding, marks the entrance. Once inside, a short passage leads to a chamber with 3 rows of benches lining the walls. The shelter could accommodate 60 to 80 people, offering them fragile refuge during air raids. During World War II, Bournemouth endured 50 bombing raids, with over 2,200 bombs dropped, causing significant destruction. The Canford Cliff shelter must have seen frequent use, shielding residents as sirens wailed overhead. Nearby, a hotel was reportedly destroyed by a German bomb barely 160 meters from the shelter, underscoring the area's vulnerability. A news account recalls a local boy's wartime experience: his school was bombed overnight, reducing it to rubble. He and his classmates collected fragments of downed Messerschmitt planes. It's easy to imagine him and others huddled in this very shelter, waiting for the chaos outside to end. This air raid shelter stands as haunting yet important evidence of the hardships endured by those who lived through World War II. 13. The underground fortress of Mimo. The underground fortress of Mimo was meant to be one of Hitler's deadliest secret weapons. Hidden beneath a chalk hill in northern France, this massive bunker was designed to house the V3 super gun, an experimental weapon capable of bombarding London with hundreds of explosive projectiles every hour. If completed, it could have changed the course of the war. The fortress consisted of an extensive network of tunnels and 5 inclined shafts, each prepared to hold a series of long-barreled cannons aimed directly at Britain's capital. The Nazis relied on forced labor to construct it, with prisoners digging deep into the rock to create what was meant to be an unstoppable doomsday weapon. The Allies had no idea what was really happening beneath the surface. Aerial reconnaissance suggested it was another V2 launch site, leading to relentless bombing campaigns from late 1943 onward. These raids slowed construction, but the final blow came in July 1944 when the RAF's legendary No. 617 Squadron deployed tallboy earthquake bombs, collapsing tunnels and burying hundreds of workers alive. By the time Canadian forces reached the site in September, it was an abandoned ruin, its deadly purpose never realized. Today, the remains of the fortress stand as a chilling relic of what could have been one of the war's most devastating attacks. 12 Bunker BS3 Pika. Tucked away in the dense floodplain forests near Bratislava, Bunker BS3 Pika is a forgotten relic of Czechoslovakia's pre-World War II defenses. Built between 1936 and 1937, this imposing concrete fortress was designed to protect the border with Austria at a time when the shadow of Nazi Germany loomed ever larger. It was one of several defensive bunkers forming a fortified line, each one manned by a crew of 21 soldiers and armed with heavy machine guns. Unlike some of its counterparts, which have been preserved as museums, Bunker BS3 has been left to the elements, its crumbling walls and overgrown surroundings telling the story of a once formidable stronghold now swallowed by nature. Reaching BS3 is an adventure in itself. The bunker hides deep within Pachona Forest, accessible only by unmarked trails that weave through fallen trees and thick undergrowth. The easiest route begins at the Lafranken Bridge, following a long-distance hiking path before veering off into the woods. Along the way, explorers might come across other abandoned bunkers like BS2 Molder, remnants of a defensive network that was never put to the test. Today, the bunker stands as a haunting monument to a war that bypassed, a place where history lingers in the silence of the trees. 11 Regelbau 500 Bunker. The Regelbau 502 bunker in Poland stands as a chilling reminder of wartime engineering, its intact rooms still filled with artifacts from the era. Built in 1939 as part of Germany's Pomeranian Wall defenses, this formidable structure was one of many designed to protect the borders of East Prussia. Unlike many abandoned fortifications, this bunker has been remarkably well preserved, complete with a rare observation cupola and an underground entrance leading through a gas lock. Originally buried under earth and debris, it has been carefully restored by historical groups, the Regelbau visitors to step inside has become a magnet for history enthusiasts of its reinforced walls. Once part of Germany's Pomeranian defensive bunkers have been lost to earth, restoration has brought its one recently unearthed and demolished in. Belgium's forgotten painstakingly rebuilt to its original World War II state, while another showcases audio-visual displays, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in history. Nearby, a smaller bunker with a preserved machine gun position adds to the grim authenticity of the site. Whether on foot or by bicycle, visitors glimpse a past frozen in time, untouched yet telling. 10. The Sorat V1 Bunker, Nazi Germany's missile stronghold. Rising from the war-torn landscape is the Sorat V1 bunker, a colossal fortress built between 1943 and 1944, intended as a bomb-proof hub to store and launch V1 flying bombs. Nicknamed Wasser St. Paul, it was a central part of Hitler's vision for a terrifying missile campaign. Engineers employed the revolutionary Verbon construction technique, building the massive roof first, then excavating beneath to continue work despite relentless Allied bombing. This fortress was engineered as a fortified railway tunnel, large enough to hold up to 150 V1 rockets, possibly launching from two parallel ramps to maximize destruction. But relentless RAF bombing campaigns shattered the bunker's invincibility. By mid-1944, Tall Boy's earthquake bombs had cracked the roof and left massive craters around the site. Though abandoned after the war, the Sorat bunker still stands on private land, a scarred monument to wartime ambition and destruction, bearing the marks of 27 Allied raids that reshaped both it and the surrounding village. 9. Elbert II U-boat bunker, Hamburg's underwater fortress. Along the River Elbe, Hamburg's Elbert II bunker was a formidable naval facility, built in 1940 to shelter and maintain Germany's prized U-boats. Its massive pens, 112 meters long and 22 meters wide, could house several submarines, including the advanced Type 21 models. Though heavily bombed, the bunker remained mostly intact, allowing crews to prepare for the inevitable. On May 2, 1945, as the war neared its bitter end, crews rigged explosives inside the submarines to prevent their capture. Later that year, British forces demolished the bunker's roof, sealing the submarines beneath rubble. Attempts to salvage these underwater relics in the late 1940s were abandoned due to danger, and the site was lost to history until rediscovered in 1985. By the 1990s, the German government sealed it permanently with concrete and gravel, burying this haunting remnant beneath a parking lot, its secrets hidden under modernity. 8. Hanstholm Fortress, Denmark's Atlantic Wall giant. Scattered across Denmark's windswept northern coast lie over 450 concrete bunkers, remnants of the Hanstholm Fortress, a vital Nazi stronghold in the Atlantic Wall. Armed with 4 massive 38 cm guns, replicas of those on battleships, this fortress was designed to control the Skagerrak Strait, working with Norway's Vara Fortress to create a deadly naval choke point. Construction began in 1942, and by war's end, Hanstholm was one of Denmark's most fortified sites, boasting anti-aircraft batteries, machine gun nests, and a labyrinth of underground bunkers. Some even housed M19 automatic mortars capable of firing 120 rounds per minute, an almost impenetrable defense against invasion. Today, parts of Hanstholm serve as a museum preserving artifacts and bunker interiors, while other areas remain untouched, their dark passageways crumbling yet frozen in time, a chilling glimpse into one of WWII's most formidable coastal defenses. 7. Kel's top-secret command bunker, beneath a Belgian house. Beneath a modest home in Chamel, Belgium, lies a Cold War secret, an underground command bunker built between 1952 and 1956. Designed as Western Europe's air defense nerve center, this bunker was prepared to coordinate operations against a potential Soviet attack. Buried 15 meters underground, the bunker measures 30 by 30 meters with 2-meter-thick walls and a copper Faraday cage shielding against electromagnetic pulses. Initially intended to work with radar stations in Samaki and Glans, its role diminished when NATO centralized air defense elsewhere. Still, the bunker remained operational until the mid-1990s, housing up to 600 personnel rotating in shifts to train for nuclear conflict scenarios. At its heart was a 2-level operations room lined with massive maps, surrounded by offices where military strategists planned responses. Declassified after the Cold War, the bunker was restored and opened as a museum in 2010, where visitors can see original equipment, Cold War-era maps, and relics from a time when global annihilation felt nearly 100 meters wide. Speculation continues about what else might lie hidden beneath Germany's largest freestanding bunker. 6. Valentin Bunker, its scale, the haunted giant never produced a single submarine. Valentin Bunker construction came at an unimaginable darkest wartime legacies. Up to 12,000 from 1943 to 1945 as a massive submarine shipyard. Concentration this colossal structure was designed to build Type 21 U-boats to disrupt Allied supply lines across the Atlantic, or execution. An estimated 1,600 perished before the bunker was even finished. In April 1945, a British airstrike severely damaged the unfinished fortress, leaving it a haunting reminder of Nazi ambition, cruelty, and the enormous price paid in blood and suffering. 10. The Benoit Bunker, V1 Bunker, Poland. This colossal structure, built by Nazi Germany between 1943 and 1944, was designed as a bomb-proof storage and launch site for V1 flying bombs. Codenamed Wasser St. Paul, it was among several heavy bunkers intended to support Hitler's large-scale missile deployment strategy. Measuring 25 meters long, 36 meters wide, and 10 meters high, the bunker was constructed with an astounding 55,000 cubic meters of reinforced concrete. Engineers used a pioneering Verbong method, building the roof first, then excavating underneath to allow construction to continue despite Allied bombing. Designed as a fortified railway tunnel, it could store up to 150 V1 rockets, possibly launching them via 2 parallel ramps for increased firing capacity. However, relentless Allied bombing, specifically RAF tallboy bombs, shattered its invincibility by mid-1944, cracking the roof and severely damaging the surrounding area. The bunker never launched a single missile. Abandoned after the war, the bunker stands today as a silent monument to wartime ambition and destruction, bearing scars from 27 Allied bombing raids. It remains visible from the road on private land, alongside a smaller nearby bunker with a preserved milligram position. Restoration has made parts accessible to visitors, offering a rare glimpse frozen in time. 9. The Elbert II U-boat bunker, Hamburg, Germany. Built in 1940 as a fortified naval facility along the River Elbe at the Haultzwerk shipyards, the Elbert II bunker housed Germany's prized U-boats. Its two pens, each 112 meters long and 22 meters wide, provided space for outfitting and repairs. Despite heavy Allied bombing, the bunker remained largely intact, sheltering Germany's most advanced Type XXI U-boats. As the war ended, crews scuttled the submarines with explosives on May 2, 1945, to prevent capture. Later that year, British forces demolished the bunker's roof, sealing the U-boats beneath tons of rubble. Salvage attempts in the late 1940s were too dangerous, and the site was abandoned until rediscovered in 1985. Due to safety concerns, the German government sealed the bunker permanently in the 1990s. Today, the naval stronghold lies buried beneath a parking lot, its history hidden beneath modern development. 8. The Hanstholm Fortress, northern Denmark. This sprawling network of more than 450 concrete bunkers was part of the formidable Atlantic Wall built by Nazi Germany during World War II. Hanstholm Fortress guarded the Skagerrak Strait alongside Norway's Vara Fortress, creating a deadly naval choke point. Construction began in 1942, and by the war's later years, it was one of Denmark's most heavily fortified sites. Armed with 4 massive 38 cm guns identical to those on German battleships, the fortress also included anti-aircraft batteries, machine gun nests, and an intricate underground bunker system. Some bunkers were equipped with M19 automatic mortars capable of firing 120 rounds per minute. A rail system transported heavy ammunition between storage bunkers and gun emplacements. Today, Hanstholm is a mix of preserved museum areas and abandoned sections, where dark passageways remain frozen in time, offering a haunting glimpse into WWII's coastal defenses. 7. The Kells Top Secret Command Bunker, Chamel, Belgium. Beneath a modest house lies one of the Cold War's most secretive military installations. Built between 1952 and 1956, this underground command bunker was designed as the nerve center for Western Europe's air defense, coordinating operations against potential Soviet attacks. Located 15 meters underground, the bunker measures 30 by 30 meters with 2-meter thick walls and a copper Faraday cage to shield against electromagnetic interference. Initially intended to function alongside radar stations in Samaki and Glans, its role diminished after NATO centralized air defense elsewhere. Still, it was repurposed in the 1960s as a secret wartime command post, fully operational until the mid-1990s. Housing up to 600 personnel, the complex featured a 2-level operations room lined with massive maps, offices for strategists, extensive communication systems, underground telephone lines, and backup diesel generators. Declassified after the Cold War, it was restored and opened as a museum in 2010. Visitors now explore original equipment and relics from a time when global conflict seemed imminent, though speculation about hidden secrets persists. 6. The Valentin Bunker, post-Germany. Demolishing the massive structure was Nazi Germany's largest freestanding submarine shipyard bunker, built between 1943 and 1945, then repurposed by the German Navy as aimed at disrupting Allied Atlantic supply lines. Valentin was officially transformed into 426 meters long, visitors can walk 1.5 kilometers per 0.5 meters featuring 25 historical stations, survivor testimony, constructed photographs, and exhibitions, including prisoners of war. It stands today as a stark reminder of concentration camp horrors and its conditions were inhumane, with an estimated 1,600 workers perishing before completion. Severely damaged by a British airstrike in April 1945, the war ended before the bunker could fulfill its top organization as a launch facility for the V-2 rocket. Integrated into a former quarry, the structure was virtually indestructible, surviving Allied bombing raids. Abandoned by retreating Germans in 1944 before any rockets were launched, the site was built with horrific human cost, especially to Russian POWs forced into deadly labor. Beneath the dome lies an extensive network of underground tunnels and storage chambers designed as a self-sufficient rocket base. Today, Lupo is both a historical museum and a technological exhibit, showcasing surviving V-2 rockets, wartime artifacts, and exhibits tracing the origins of modern spaceflight, which ironically began with Nazi research. A modern planetarium offers immersive 3D films taking visitors from the depths of war history to the vastness of space, making the bunker a powerful reminder of wartime terror and scientific progress. 4. The Oldenburg Battery, French coast. Battery Oldenburg was one of several German fortifications along the French coast, built to defend against the planned Operation Sea Lion invasion of Britain. Originally two open Russian-made guns, they were encased in reinforced concrete casemates by 1942. At 35 meters long and 15 meters high, the bunkers maximized their firing range across the Strait of Dover, known as Hellfire Corner due to intense wartime bombardment. The 240mm guns fired 150 kg shells up to 28 km, defending shipping routes despite not reaching the English mainland. The battery complex included barracks, ammunition storage, and a hospital adorned with frescoes. It surrendered to Canadian forces on October 1, 1944, after inland assaults rendered its sea-facing guns ineffective. Today, visitors can explore its imposing structures and dark corridors, though venturing too deep can be hazardous. 3. The Street Nazaire Submarine Base, France. Completed in 1942 after 16 months of construction, this massive U-boat base was a nearly indestructible fortress for Germany's submarine fleet. Spanning 301 meters long, 130 meters wide, and 18 meters high, it used 500,000 cubic meters of reinforced concrete. Its roof was layered with 9.6 meters of reinforced concrete, granite, and steel beams, making it nearly impervious to Allied bombing. The base housed 14 submarine pens, with the first 8 serving as dry docks for repairs and servicing. It was a self-contained fortress featuring workshops, ammunition depots, dormitories, a hospital, restaurant, and bakeries. Fortified locks protected submarines during transfers, and heavy defenses included anti-aircraft weapons, machine guns, and mortars. Visitors today can explore its immense corridors, eerie submarine pens, and climb rooftops for panoramic views of the Atlantic coast. 2. Battery Todt, France. Near Cap Gris-Nez, Battery Todt was a crucial coastal artillery installation of the Nazi Atlantic Wall, built in 1942 by the Todt organization. Featuring four massive 380mm Krupp guns with ranges exceeding 55 kilometers, it was capable of striking the English coast. The reinforced concrete bunkers had walls and roofs over 3 meters thick, making them nearly impervious to attacks. Despite heavy bombardment, the battery wasn't captured until September 29, 1944, after a direct assault by Canadian forces. Named after Fritz Todt, Hitler's chief engineer, it played a significant role targeting Allied ships and coastal defenses, firing up to 12 times a day. Clever camouflage, including painted farmhouses and trees, concealed the site. Today, one casemate houses the Musée du Mur de l'Atlantique Museum, featuring wartime artifacts such as a rare K5 railway gun. Visitors can explore the site's remnants and enjoy panoramic views of the English Channel. This detailed overview captures the scale, history, human cost, and modern legacy of these remarkable military structures, showing how they serve as solemn reminders of war's impact and enduring fascination for history enthusiasts. The Reich Chancellery Bunker. The Führer Bunker, an underground fortress beneath Berlin's Reich Chancellery, was Adolf Hitler's final refuge during the last months of World War II. Constructed in 2 phases, first as the Führer Bunker in 1936 and later expanded into a deeper, more fortified Führer Bunker in 1944, it became the nerve center of Nazi Germany's collapsing regime. Located 28 feet below ground, the bunker comprised 17 reinforced rooms, including Hitler's private quarters, conference halls, and a sophisticated ventilation system designed to withstand Allied bombings. Its walls were fortified with 13 feet of concrete, providing a temporary illusion of security. Inside, the bunker was adorned with expensive carpets, artwork salvaged from the Reich Chancellery, and Hitler's cherished portrait of Frederick the Great. However, these trappings could not mask the impending doom. By January 1945, as Soviet forces closed in on Berlin, Hitler retreated underground with his closest associates, including Joseph Goebbels and Eva Braun. On April 30, 1945, Hitler and Braun took their own lives within these walls, followed the next day by Goebbels and his family. After the war, Soviet forces leveled the Reich Chancellery, and the Führerbunker was largely buried. Unlike other Nazi relics, no effort was made to preserve it, as Germany sought to erase this dark legacy. The site remained sealed and unmarked for decades. It wasn't until 2006 that a discreet plaque was placed to mark the location, now a mundane parking lot in modern Berlin. Though largely forgotten physically, the Führer bunker remains a grim symbol of the Nazi regime's final collapse, hidden beneath the city's landscape.